Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for pay-per-view.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I want to fight.
Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. We are back today with another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice. We're here to speak or touch on Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares, ordered to reach a deal by November 6th. So that's, I believe, Monday, the Saturday after some boxing. So the Championship Committee of the World Boxing Association, the WBA, has ordered that these two featherweights, Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares, begin to negotiate and strike a deal as soon as possible before November 6th. So I'm going to get head on in and go to the Golden State to bring in my hipster co-hosts in and touch on this topic.
ThaBoxingvoice Production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock, into a knock out now. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here, haters beware. And Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, all these guys in this division, Oscar Valdez, Gary Russell Jr. This division is one of the hottest divisions in the sport in terms of depth. And I think this rematch needs to happen. I think it should have happened, obviously, maybe a few weeks ago on the, what was it on Fox or Fox Sports 1. Unfortunately, it's not. It's probably going to happen the first quarter of next year. I would assume maybe February or March. Somewhere in LA, whether that be the Staples Center, whether that be the StubHub, the Forum. I'm assuming that's where we're going to get. And I'm assuming we're actually going to get this fight. I'm gonna safely predict that we're not gonna have any negotiation shenanigans between these two Al Heyman fighters when they were already on a card together that was purely meant to build up a rematch between them. So shout out to them for at least making this happen, for the WBA for making this happen and ordering it, forcing their hand. And hopefully we get in. Hopefully the winner of this fight fights maybe Carl Frampton, maybe Oscar Valdez, somebody else maybe. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Speaking of Frampton, what do we know about his situation with Heyman? Because we know he just signed to a new promoter and changed trainers and things like that. And it's similar to what Daniel Jacobs did in leaving Showtime, which is where Carl Frampton had some of his fights aired during his, time with Al Heyman. Now Jacobs is with HBO. I'm wondering, is Frampton still with Al Heyman in some way?
I have no idea, and I have not seen any quotes from him addressing that. And I'll be honest, I would safely assume he is. I mean, we really haven't seen an exodus from Al Heyman from anyone, except for like a Vans Martirosyan or guys like that. I mean, usually guys have stuck with Al Heyman because Al Heyman takes care of them. And I would say Carl Frampton has definitely been taken care of by Al Heyman. He's gotten big money fights. He's fought in the U.S. when a lot of UK boxers have not. I would safely assume he's still with Al Heyman.
Well, I'm wondering. I know this show is about Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares being ordered by the WBA to begin negotiations, but Carl Frampton, he wants a trilogy. Who is more deserving? Does Abner Mares deserve a rematch, being as though he was the first one to face Leo Santa Cruz way back then and never did get a rematch. Cruz went on to obviously face Frampton 2 times and, solidify his A-side status, because in this one, one could only assume that, again, Cruz is the A-side due to his win over Mares and then his win over Carl Frampton.
Yeah, and I'll also safely assume that Leo Santa Cruz is a bigger draw, at least in LA, than Abner Mares. When I see Leo at fights, just being there as a fan, he is hounded by fans. He is hounded by people. There's always a group of 30, 40, 50 people around Leo Santa Cruz and his dad trying to take pictures. You really don't see that with Abner Mares as much. That matters. I also
Shout out to Nancy, because she's definitely Leo Santa Cruz's PR, and they do a lot out there in the West. She's part of that WBC Cares, and she always has Leo involved in something. I just got a press release that they're going to be at some school, all of them, Bam Bam, Abner, Leo, just a dozen Hispanic fighters in the West Coast area will be at a school at like 8:25 in the morning, I think Thursday.
And to who is more deserving, Carl Frampton or Abner Mares for that Leo fight? I would say Carl Frampton, but it's like splitting hairs. I mean, you're talking about 3 guys out of the top 5 in the division fighting each other. Like, I'm not upset if we get Abner Mares instead of Carl Frampton. And I also would assume that the winner of Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, is going to fight Carl Frampton within the year as well. I would safely assume that, especially with news from Kid Galahad, who's proposing this to the World Boxing Super Series. He's a hot up-and-coming prospect in that division. The World Boxing Super Series is talking about adding a featherweight tournament. Maybe we see them attaching themselves to this trilogy fight, maybe or not trilogy, this rematch or trilogy fight with Carl Frampton. We could see that potentially next year, especially with overseas, the World Boxing Super Series being highly successful from the looks of it. I've been hearing their numbers on ITV have been doing well. I've been hearing their gate attendance in Europe has been doing well. And especially with this featherweight division, really only having 3 guys in it that are from the U.S. that matter, and I would say that's Leo, Abner, and Oscar Valdez, and all 3 of them being from L.A. I mean, I would safely assume that a lot of featherweights would be down for that World Boxing Super Series tournament. So maybe Carl Frampton jumps on that, maybe Kid Galahad jumps on that, maybe Leo and Abner jump on that too.
Possibility. So according to the WBA rule C.13, a champion cannot fight with a boxer who is not a mandatory designated contender within 60 days of his mandatory defense expiration date. Because I'm bringing this up because the sanctioning body wants to eliminate the problem of having multiple world champions in each division, and both boxers have had been scheduled to fight on April 3rd. So, you know that Santa Cruz holds the WBA super title at that weight, while Mares is the regular champion at 126 pounds. So, you know that the super champion doesn't even get a mandatory. So I don't really know how this is happening. Normally when Floyd had that title, they never forced him to do any mandatories, or Miguel Cotto.
True. And it could be one of those things where it's just a hollow sort of order where it's not really enforced. And it could just be one of those things that it's just there for like PR reasons, just as a headline, because I feel like how are these 2 guys not going to negotiate with each other? They're under the same umbrella. They fought before. They fought on the same card, and all they talked about in that card was the rematch. I mean, to me, this was just more of a formality than anything. This was to me a sign that, okay, the negotiations are happening right now. Like in the next couple of weeks, they're negotiating. That's all this signified to me. Because it's the WBA. They don't enforce anything.
From the looks of it, they've been in this situation for some time, one being the super and the other being the regular. They've put in a few petitions on August 22nd. Santa Cruz and Mares requested special permits to make voluntary defenses and the request obviously was granted. And we seen those fights on October 14th when he faced Chris Avalos and Andres Gutierrez in that doubleheader on Fox. So it looks like they've been putting off this mandatory, but again, I just don't get how Leo gets a mandatory to the Super WBA championship when no one ever has that mandatory.
I mean, I do know of.
Well, I guess Joshua, right? Isn't Joshua now? Or
Yes,
for like a few headlines, he was
Adamant.
allegedly being forced to fight Lewis, right? Before Lewis had the positive tests.
But think about it. That fight didn't happen for a reason. Like that mandatory didn't take precedent over the IBF for a reason. Because the WBA really is not like anal about it. Like they don't care. You give them some money, you give them a check, they're good. They don't care.
Well, I don't know about that, Matt, but
you know. Hey, Deontay Wilder said it, man. It's all politics.
He didn't say you give the WBA a check and that's it.
You pay for rankings. That's 100%.
He didn't say that.
Okay.
Did he?
He didn't say that specifically, but you do pay for rankings.
That's your assumption.
You pay to be ranked. Sorry, you pay to be ranked.
Well. Matt with that shovel today.
Well, it's true. You pay to be ranked. That's called a sanctioning fee.
I hear you. Listen, so how excited are you? Because we're reporting on the news of this and things like that, but are you at all excited that this rematch will be forced? Is this a fight that was on the back of your mind?
Yeah. It was one of those where I wish it happened, like I said 2 weeks ago. To me, it just got pushed back a few months when it didn't have to be. But it is a good fight. It's a great fight. Like I said, these are two top guys in two of the top 5 in the division. You throw like maybe at least Selby in there in the top 5 as well with Oscar Valdez, Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares. Like those guys are a murderer's row right now. So whatever the matchups are out of the top 5, I'm happy. And this is a rematch that did need to happen, in my opinion, because that first fight was close. It was entertaining. That was a top 10 fight of the year in 2015. So I think, why not roll it back? Why not? It should have happened 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, but I'm happy they're at least doing it now.
Just got confirmation. We'll have a 5:30. Your time is what? 8:30 mine's, right?
Yes. So that's 8 minutes from now.
No, 5:30. Your time is 8:30 mine's.
Oh, yes.
How could it be 8 minutes from now?
I thought you said 5:30 your time.
Whatever, Michael J. Fox.
My bad. Michael J. Fox. Back to the Future? Is that?
Yeah. Time Machine. You're saying is 8 minutes from now?
I didn't know if you were making like a polio joke, which I was like, what?
Why would I be glass half empty, Matt, when I'm known glass half full?
I'm sorry. My glass is definitely half full.
Anyway, back to the point before we end this quick update. We will be back. It looks like it. So shout out to Larry who asked for 2 shows today. You may just get that. Looks like Bob Arum got word of our Eddie Hearn show and he wants to talk. So it seems we'll have him on today at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 West Coast. What do we call it? What do you guys call it over there? Pacific Standard? No.
Yeah.
Oh, is it okay? Pacific Standard time over there. So yeah, I guess put some questions in the comment box down here and we'll see if we can't get those answered. We got a caller and we got some sponsors to go to. So let's do that. Any final thoughts, Matt, on the Leo Santa Cruz Abner Mares being ordered, or do we move on?
We can move to the sponsors and callers. This was just a quick show.
I know that we wanted to get Kid Galahad on. I'm seeing if we can restart this Skype. He said he was having issues connecting, so we're trying to restart this Skype and see if we can't get him on. A couple minutes here. We're gonna go to Jay in Orlando right after we hit up our sponsors.
Fight fans, don't leave the decision in the hands of the judges. Download the Throwdown Scoring app and receive live scoring, CompuBox stats, boxing predictions from other users around the world. Head over to your iPhone App Store or your Google Play Store and download it absolutely free.
Jay, what's going on, my friend? Talk to us.
No, nothing much, man. Appreciate the show, fellas. Appreciate all the hard work y'all been putting in, man. Hey, man, I'm happy that it was ordered. But one thing I want, you guys to keep in mind, and also callers as well. This has happened before, where guys have the same like manager and advisor, and it gets ordered, but then they don't necessarily, like the WBA or the WBC, the sanctioning body, will extend the time and say, hey, we took away the time. We've been told that they're going to come to agreement. So the fight will happen, but I don't think necessarily that they'll necessarily meet that deadline, because the deadline's November 6th or something like that.
Yes, sir. November 6th, Monday.
Yeah, that's a fast deadline. I know that happened. I think who before was two Al Heyman guys that happened with before. We ended up getting it. Oh, you know who it was? Charlo and J-Rock, Julian Williams.
Oh, man. Speaking of, J-Rock is coming back versus Ishe Smith. Remember we were talking about Ishe Smith? Yo, they listen to this fucking show. Hey, Matt, come back. Remember I specifically said I want to believe I said that J-Rock should fight Ishe Smith. I swear I thought I said that.
You did say that.
That's fucking insane.
You said that was a good fight. You said that it was a good, yeah. They listen to the show.
That's insane, bro.
You guys have thrown out the last month. Yeah.
Uh-oh, we got another caller here. Jay, I'm going to get right back to you. We got a fighter on the line all the way from the United Kingdom. We'll be right back. Okay. He's in the featherweight division, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, won't you do some proper introductions here for our good friend Barry Award, a.k.a. Kid Galahad from the United Kingdom?
Kid Galahad's one of the up-and-coming prospects, especially out of the UK, from Sheffield, England, the home of Kell Brooks. So he has that built-in fight fandom over there. So I think he is definitely someone to watch. He's undefeated. I think he has, like 5 finishes in his last 5 fights. Somebody to watch for sure, and definitely somebody that's been calling out the big names. So if he gets a Carl Frampton fight, a Scott Quigg fight in the next 6 months to a year, I would not be surprised, and those would be great fights. He's definitely someone to watch. If you haven't seen him yet, go on YouTube, hit up Kid Galahad, highlights, and enjoy.
Well, Mr. Galahad, we have you live here. Matt, you might as well continue to do your thing here. Take it away.
Yo, Matt.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for calling in. It's always an honor to have fighters call in. But really, you reached out to us. You want to talk about this World Boxing Super Series proposal. You talking to Carl Frampton about it. So tell the people, tell the U.S. audience here what's been going on over there. Have there been negotiations over there? What are you doing to lead to a featherweight tournament in the World Boxing Super Series?
I've been on social media trying to pump it out there because we need all the featherweights. The featherweight division at the minute is the most banging division at the minute. It's got the most talent, and we need to start fighting each other. Just like, the super middleweight division at the moment, they've got the tournament going on, and all the best fighters of the super middleweight division are fighting each other. I think this needs to happen in the featherweight division, and we need to get it on.
Who do you think should be involved? I know there have been several lists of people out there. Who tell me the names that should be in this tournament.
Ideally, the top 8. You need Leo Santa Cruz in there, Abner Mares, Frampton, Quigg in there. Who else have we got? Joseph Diaz, me, Warrington if he wants to go in there, Selby. We need the top 8 in there. We need to make it exciting. We need the people who want to go in there and fight. And most of these fights, I personally don't think they want to go in there and fight. Fighters like, I don't think Warrington will enter it, and I don't think Scott Quigg will enter it. I think the rest of them will enter it. I don't think them two will.
Now, Galahad, how do you ensure that you are in this tournament that you're proposing? Because you said top 8. And do you consider yourself top 10 already in the division?
I consider myself as number 1 in the division. I just need the opportunity. When the opportunity comes, you will see why I'm number 1. I'm the number one featherweight. I believe I'm the number one featherweight in the world. You know, let me just tell you something. Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mares, they're not even natural featherweights. They're featherweights fighting. They're bantamweights fighting bantamweights at featherweight. You know, they don't want to mix it in with no one else. They're not even fighting no one else.
Well, they did give Carl Frampton an opportunity, right? I mean, Frampton had an opportunity at Leo twice.
He had his opportunity, beat him once. He didn't want to. I don't think he'll fight him again because, you know, I think Frampton the first night got the right moves, got the right stuff, got the right, you know, the right game plan to beat him. And I think if there was a third fight, I think Frampton would beat him again. I think in the second fight, he got overconfident a bit. You know, I think in the first fight, he realized he thought he was in a big fight. Went in there, beat Santa Cruz. In the second fight, I think he underestimated Santa Cruz a bit, and that's what got him beat.
You're promoted by Edmund, right?
Pardon?
You're promoted by Edmund, right?
No. I'm a free agent at the moment. I'm not promoted by nobody. I've been fighting ITV shows over in the UK. You know, in the UK, at the minute there's boxing's massive right now. All the big fights, you know, there's about 5 or 6 different channels at the minute what are showing boxing. The Sky Sports, the BT Sport, ITV, Dave, Channel 5. There's loads of different platforms.
So, why aren't you trying to align yourself with a guy like Eddie Hearn? He seems to be a move maker in the UK with the Sky Sports deal. He even now has some US ties, and he obviously has the cash cow in boxing, or at least one of the new faces in boxing, in Anthony Joshua, which brings residuals to him and his company, Matchroom Promotions. It seems like the obvious pick for most UK fighters. Why isn't a guy like Kid Galahad over there?
At the minute, you know, I've just come in. I've been fighting ITV. You know, at the end of the day, boxing's about money. And I've been fighting on ITV, and ITV offered me a better, you know, money to fight on their platform. But, you know, going forward, hopefully, you know, I'll probably be thinking about going with ITV, with Sky Sports and Eddie Hearn.
Now, how many more fights do you have left? Because being with ITV, it's going to be difficult to get any of these fights that you do want.
Well, put it this way, ITV have got the Super 6, haven't they? The Super Series, the tournament.
So you're thinking that because you're aligned with the network that has the World Boxing Super Series right now, the featherweights are going to come to you in a sense, or your network in a sense?
You don't know, do you? You know, at the end of the day, ITV are putting out the fights for the Super Series. I'm fighting on their platform. You never know. It could go that way.
Have you had any initial talks with Richard Schaefer about this?
No. It's not Richard Schaefer who's running it, is it? I thought it was the Sauerlands.
Well, Sutherland and Richard Schaefer, I think, are both doing it. I don't know who's really in charge. I think it's either of them. But have you talked to Sutherland or Schaefer? Have you talked to either of them?
This is just being over social media. You know, I come out with the idea. Frampton jumped on it, tried nicking my idea, and you know, he's trying to get everyone behind it. I've been saying this for a while now, saying we need something like this. I think this needs to happen in all divisions, not just the featherweight division.
Do you have any plan to talk to Sutherland or Schaefer in the near future to sort of figure this out?
Yeah, you know, I think they've been looking at, you know, Twitter and the social media and thinking they've probably had a lot of feedback off it, good feedback, and they want to make this happen. In all the divisions, the featherweight division has probably got the most talent at the minute. You know, everyone's young, they're hungry, and they're willing to fight. It's just making the fights, and all the promoters and the managers working together to make it happen.
If the tournament doesn't happen, who do you want next?
Anybody. I want, you know, I've been calling out Joseph Diaz, who's number 1 for the WBC. You know, if he wants it, he can get it, you know. Any of the featherweights, anybody in the top 10, you know. I'm willing to come over there and fight them. Even the possibility of fighting, someone like Donaire, who's been there, I think he's ready for going. I'm willing to go over there and fight him.
Well, Kid Galahad, we're going to wrap this up because we do have Bob Arum coming in the next couple of hours, and we want to get that show scheduled. But thank you for obviously coming on the show. I think every fan loves the tournament. I think fight fans
are great ideas for boxing, man. It's great exposure as well.
I think fans would naturally get behind your idea. Just get in the rooms with these guys, get these deals made. Any social media you want to give out to the fans that are listening right now?
Listen, this needs to be. This is taking it back to the old school boxing when when all the best fighters used to fight each other. Nowadays, these fighters they don't want all these fighters, the top ones. They just want to make the easy money, and not fight nobody. But it's about pleasing the fans as well. It's good making money, but you need to be able to please the fans as well. And the best need to fight the best, and to be the best, you've got to beat the best.
Well put, my friend. Well, Kid Galahad, thank you again for your time. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kid Galahad from the United Kingdom calling in live on our little featherweight show. Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mares has been ordered by the WBA to reach an agreement before November 6th. We're going to go back to the United States. We're going to go to Jay from Orlando. Jay, talk to us.
Oh, man, that was, pretty much what I was saying, man. I'm looking forward to it. I had a quick question for you guys because I didn't hear the beginning of it. But how do you guys think Abner Mares is going to do with, him being with Robert Garcia and this time being in the rematch? Do you think he'll be able to make adjustments, or do you think it'll go the same how Leo Santa Cruz was pretty much dominating the whole fight?
I don't think Leo Santa Cruz is going to be dominant the whole fight, though I think that version of Leo Santa Cruz has improved drastically as well. But I think Abner Mares has improved. I think Abner Mares has definitely fine-tuned his craft.
He looked good last Saturday.
And in the fight he did against Oscar Escudon, he put on a clinic against Escudon. So I think Mares can beat a lot of guys, and I think a lot of people are counting out Mares when they shouldn't.
Yeah, they both have improved a lot, and I would kind of like to see if Mares was able to challenge like another champion first and then do the Leo Santa Cruz, because I think Mares is going to be able to make some waves in that division, but I don't think he has enough to be able to dethrone Leo Santa Cruz, especially if his father's around for a full training camp.
Well, all right, Jay. Well, thanks for calling in. Looks like we're going to go out to one of our ringers in Boston, Massachusetts. It's Georgie Porgy.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that form I do? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what great show. Thumbs up, donate.
So he just dropped off right before his call.
Are we surprised? He's ducking you. He doesn't want that work, Ness. He doesn't want young Ali.
It's all right. Well, time to wrap up anyway because we got to get ready for Bob Arum. We will be talking to Bob. I think we're gonna keep it. Should we keep it Rigo based? Rigo Lomachenko. I mean, what does Bob have going on out there?
Well, did Bob reach out to us and want to do a show, or did we like the Monster Piece reach out to him? Like, how did that work out? This is news to me, Ness. You dropped this news on the show to me, so I have no idea.
I mean,
if Bob's coming on, he's definitely want to be a promoter. He's going to promote something.
Well, it's your show, Matt. What do you want to talk about?
It's my show.
Meaning you're a co-host of the show. I mean, Bob is the owner of Top Rank. He doesn't run this show. So what do you want to talk about?
I have no idea. I think Rigo Loma is always good, especially because the Top Rank promotional bent has been very anti-Rigo. They make promos specifically going, Rigo, you wanted this? Good luck. So I can't wait to delve into that. That's interesting. Plus the heavyweight picture. What's he doing at the heavyweight picture with Joseph Parker, Brian Jennings? I think that's interesting. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. It's Bob freaking Arum, man. Like he owns a third of the sport.
Doesn't he have options on Horn?
Oh yeah.
So we can see how serious those Jeff Horn, quote unquote, promoter says Keith Thurman is ducking or irrelevant quotes.
I thought that was Jeff Horn specifically saying that. I didn't think it was Jeff Horn's manager or promoter.
Oh, even better. You should find that out. If it's Jeff Horn, then we talk to his promoter or the other half of his promotion and ask Bob Arum how serious would he be about making a Keith Thurman fight? Because I think Keith Thurman should take that as a tune-up.
I don't know if Jeff Horn's a tune-up.
Stop being disrespectful.
I don't
Jeff
think
Horn is not better than Jesse Vargas.
I don't know.
Oh, now you don't know.
Jeff Horn versus Jesse Vargas right now. Who wins? I might pick Jeff Horn. He looked good against Pacquiao. Like people are like acting like he was shit against Pacquiao. He beat Pacquiao. He beat him up for 12 rounds. Come on. Jeff Horn's awkward. He's rough. He's a skinny white Sean Porter in there, man. Like he's gonna rough people up. I don't know.
All right, Matt. Well, I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. And you can catch Matt.
You can catch me, Matt Hipster Hunter, at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Peace.